look.
Hey. Welcome back to Let's Unpack That After Dark. I am Lala. You know how I do. What's up?
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
Who people want to know who you are?
Shamik. Everybody know me, bro. I'm famous. Low key, I'm famous.
All right. Well, today we have a very interesting topic. This has been a topic that's been going on for everyone's life, I must say. But some of us are touched by it, some of us are bothered by it, and some of us are interested in understanding the dynamics of how people deal with child support. Child support. Number one question: who is responsible for paying child support when it comes to having children? Right? What are the things that child support should be used for? And do you think that the person that is receiving the child support has to be able to tell you what you're sending your money for?
I want to say something.
Like that.
I want to say something.
Okay, say something.
I love women, especially my black women. I'm gonna have some unpopular opinions. I'm gonna give examples of why I have them. I've even told family members this. I don't want to get mad. Don't DM me. Don't come for me. Don't threaten me. But I just gotta keep it 1,000. I gotta keep it 1,000. But go ahead. We can get back on topic, but I gotta keep it 1,000 because there's some things I gotta say.
You got to give it 1,000.
I gotta keep it 1,000.
I mean, I think that's the purpose of Let's Unpack That, right? So you to be honest about what's going on,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
that people recognize that. Hold on, let me see. I'm not.
What, you scratching the floor?
You hear that?
I don't hear nothing. I just hear you scraping on something. It sounds like the mouse needs an oil change or something. I don't know what you
What? What? All right.
doing.
So anyway, I think that it's important for people to have conversations that's genuine in regards to what that looks like, right? Everyone has a different opinion on child support, right? Everyone has a different opinion on who should pay the child support, how much should be given. Some people feel like there are people who have children for the sake of gain, and when it comes to financial gain, right? Now, one of the biggest topics in the questions are: is it fair for a woman to have to go to court and have someone tell them how much no, I take that back. The custodial parent. Is it fair for the custodial parent to go to court and request child support from the other parent that doesn't have custody?
Is it fair?
Yeah, is it fair?
Yeah, I believe in the institution of child support. I just don't believe in the implementation of it.
Okay, explain it.
So I believe a child needs financial support. Of course, we know emotional and psychological support. That aside, financial support, kids are expensive. I raised my daughter by myself. She was 8 months old. She's 21. So I know the financial ramifications. I just don't like the implementation of it. And I don't like the fact that in some cases, because people always want to talk about something else. In some cases, not everybody. So please don't start commenting that. But in some cases, women don't have the obligation to be financially stable either before they have kids, and it's their body. And here we go with the first unpopular opinion. It's their choice. A woman needs to, I told my sister this, I told my daughter this, I've told my cousins this. I don't want people thinking I'm coming at no females. That's your body protected. It's not a man's job to put the condom on. It's your job to make sure he has one on, or you're on birth control. That's just my personal opinion. It's your body. People will say, well, he has an obligation too. No, there's no shared obligation when you're at the end of the day gonna be responsible. It's your obligation. And another bad thing is that black people are on too much child support anyway. Now listen, I'm guilty of it too. I ain't never been married, so I ain't judging nobody that had kids out of wedlock. I was married. I got 3 kids. I wasn't married, none of them. But we gotta change. This is for the future. Like, it's gotta stop. But women need to protect themselves. Parents need to have their daughters on birth control, or and then they'll say, well, what if you're allergic? I'm not talking to you if you're allergic. What if you can't take the pill, you gain weight? I'm not talking to you. But the ones that can, you need to protect yourself. Nobody's going to protect yourself like you. You have to protect yourself. And I see the little mouse running on the treadmill in your brain because you want to say something, but let me land. I already see him like this, full speed. I already see you, which is going to make this for a great debate. But I'm telling you, I told my sister this. My sister had my first niece out of wedlock. Had my second niece. She's married, been married over 20 years. I don't like putting her personal business on the internet, but everybody knows it. So it worked out. But I told her, that's on you. You should have protected yourself. I told my sister this. So I'm not saying something just for the blogs. This is what I told my sister. Love her to death. It's my best friend. But, now go ahead and scorch me and give your opinion, Queen style. Because I already know I can read your non.
Okay. Here's a fact, right? It takes two to make a baby, right?
That's a fact.
So you said parents should tell their daughters, but I think it's across the board. Boys and girls, men and women should practice protection, right? A lot of times what I'm seeing is that people are having unprotected sex, and then when somebody gets pregnant, it's a problem, or it's a surprise, or I'm not ready for a kid, or I don't want a kid. But we all know as adults, or even these little kids that have sex, that having a baby means having sex. Right? So anytime you have sex, you are running the risk of getting pregnant. Anytime.
Don't I know it?
Even if you use protection, right? Protection doesn't always solve the problem.
What? Hold on. I know you want to land. I'm not talking about those instances. Here you go with these anomalies. I'm not talking about that. And let me give you an analogy.
I ain't even land yet.
When I put a seatbelt on, I put a seatbelt on to protect myself. Because I know people outside could do something, run into my car, hit me from the back, boom, boom, boom. That's why females need child support. I know it takes two. And yes, boys should be told to put on the condom, but got to teach these girls, protect yourself and don't have babies when possible. Whether it's birth control, whatever it is, get on it, protect yourself. Condoms too, because people don't talk about venereal diseases enough. I think AIDS done died down, so people act like, oh, it's cool now, we can just do whatever. No. But at the end of the day, statistics show the female is going to be stuck with that baby. And because they need to protect themselves. That's the reality. We can talk physical, whatever.
I mean, the ratio of women who have their children and are stuck, as you say, with the children is higher than men. But there are some men that have custody of their children also.
Like me.
Right. So the question is the financial responsibility. Right. So would you say that just like women go to court, men should go to court too if they have custody of their child, primary custody of their kid?
I think it depends on the man. I mean, I wouldn't see myself, me personally, I wouldn't go to court unless it's absolutely necessary. But the courts are set up to where if a man requests a blood test, automatically child support kicks in. So if I want to know if that baby's mine and I take a blood test, it's mandatory to get child support. And I'm only talking about New Jersey. I don't know how it works in other states, so I'm not speaking.
New York, they do that in New York too.
Okay. No, I mean, we global.
But even though they do that in New York, the two people can indicate that they don't want child support. They don't want to do child support. They're going to settle it outside. But the question, so here's a few things, right? I know, everyone has an opinion on whether or not child support should be done, whether it's good or not, or the reasoning behind some people go to court for child support. Some women really need help, and there are men that just are not helping. Some women are bitter, and they just want to make the person pay out more than what probably they can afford, or they just want to make sure that they don't have money to do anything else in their life, right? I think that every time a child is born, both parents should have some type of joint custody. I think you should be equally responsible each other for the care of that child. I think that the time should be split amongst the two so that everyone has the equal share of responsibility of raising that child, right? As far as the payments. I don't particularly think that it's fair that because I'm a woman and I have a baby that I have to keep the kid. I don't think it's fair that because I have to breastfeed that the kid has to stay with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. So because I'm the mother and I carry the child, I think this responsibility should be equal. I could pump and you can get the baby and you can feed your baby as well. That's just my opinion. I don't think that I personally think that child support should not be something that's forced upon a person, right? But I also think that people should be responsible for their actions, right?
When you say it shouldn't be forced on them, what do you mean?
I don't think I don't believe, and this is just me, unpopular opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
If two people have sex and they produce a child, right? And let's just say a man says, "I don't want to have a baby. I'm not ready to have a baby," and the woman says, "Well, I'm going to do what I want to do, whether you want it or not," right? I don't think that that person should be forced to take care of a child.
I don't know if I agree with that. As much as I'm,
I mean, it depends. I think it depends on the circumstances. I think that a lot of time, I mean, most of the time when a person says, sometimes a lot of it is an emotional circumstance, right? People are in emotion, they're in their feelings, the response is what it is at that moment, most of the time. But there are times when there are situations where people have sex, one night stand, things like that, produce a kid, and it's like, I don't even know you, I don't want a kid, right? And the person is adamant, right? I think that if you make a decision at that moment when a person says, I don't want a kid, then that's a decision that has to be made. And I made a decision to have a kid and knowing that he didn't want the kid. So there's no force there. I'm gonna take care of my kid.
I know.
And vice versa. There are men who want kids and a woman to say, I don't want the kid, right? And then they do it on purpose and they get upset if she decides to terminate the pregnancy.
I know a female that was pregnant, had a baby, and he said he didn't want the kid. She's like, well, I'm having a kid. She didn't put him on child support because she owned the responsibility. And I respect that. But I just think that child support is used as a weapon to get money. And I know this is the minority, but you got females having babies and athletes are paying $250,000 a month. No. I'm not here to increase your lifestyle.
I mean, I think that if we have a kid together, if we together, Drake's coming up. I feel like if we together in a relationship and we have a child, then we're equally responsible, right? I don't think it's fair that when we make a decision to have a child and you decide that you no longer want the relationship, or I decide I don't want the relationship no more, and you decide that because I don't want the relationship no more, you don't got to take care of your kid or do nothing with your kid. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that if she makes $100,000 and he makes $100,000, he should be paying half of his salary and her not. I don't agree with that.
But here's the thing, though. We're not talking about fear. We're talking about reality. What
up, Dre?
Dre, what up?
What up, Lyle? What up, Sean?
We gotta I know like a lot of these debates be like hypothetical and stuff, but the reality of the situation is, and people don't like to deal with the reality. They like to say what's fair and what should be and what this. I like to deal with what is. A female, like let's say I'll even bring it to my daughter. My daughter gets pregnant. I'm assuming that that's gonna be her responsibility, which will in turn be mine, and we got to make decisions that we can live with, whether it's terminated or not terminated. That's I'm not with that, but whatever. But I'm gonna be upset with her. Like, yo, how did you get in this situation? You didn't take your birth control, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. I'm just me personally, I think that when I wake up and look in the mirror, I take ownership of my decisions and how they impact anybody, and I own them. And I think females, because of child support, don't do that enough. You have to take care and protect your body. And part of that is making sure somebody doesn't shoot your club up.
Yeah, but emotionally in debt, when you're emotionally involved with somebody, a lot of times that's not a factor. People don't always pay. Look, age factors in, absolutely, right? Where you are in your life factors in, your emotional state, your trauma state, trauma bonding, all kind of stuff plays a factor in how two people get together and decide that they're gonna have sex and make a baby, or have sex and not. Hold on. Have sex. Hold on. have unprotected sex and a baby is produced, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's part
Emotionally.
of
So because
ownership.
you're saying that you're gonna say to your daughter, how you get yourself into this situation, and at the end of the day, people have sex,
Yeah,
right?
but
But you have to
your
she has to protect
responsibility is
herself.
to have sex, right? Responsibly. If you're not ready to take it to that next level.
Exactly. You have to think about these kind of things. Like, and everybody wants to say, well, it's our responsibility. Nobody's responsible for my life but me. If I get into it with somebody, I have to own my part of it. And in a relationship, part of it is a female. And like I said, this unpopular opinion. But this is exactly the conversation I had with my sister. Dre knows how much I love my sister. I don't play about my
Hmm.
sister. I told her, you got pregnant. That's on you. You should have protected yourself. How did this happen? Oh, well, he did it. I don't want to hear what he did. What did you do?
What did you
What
do?
did you allow? What did you allow? And I want to make that very clear because I don't want to make it seem like, oh, female, oh, what if it was your daughter? I'm telling you what it would be my daughter. It'd be the same conversation. Are you out of your mind?
Well,
What? You didn't take this? You didn't get the shot? You didn't do this? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put a personal business out there, but she's protected. So I don't have, that's one thing I don't have to worry about. Now, you want to go have
so
unprotected sex and you come back and you got to get a shot in your ass? That's on you.
well, Sha, I want to elaborate on something Lala said earlier. Lala, you said like people may have the one night stands and it's, it turns into the baby mama situation. That happened to me. That's how I had my oldest daughter. And
And I know about
to
that.
this, yeah, so
Everybody don't know about that, but go ahead. We're listening. Unpack
so I'm gonna unpack it. So it was the girl at my job at Shop PCF in Hackensack, and I
A
was,
lot of babies made at PCF. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I had a few
yeah,
scares. I
we
had
know that.
2 or 3 abortions over there. Yeah.
that. No, go
So
ahead. That's that
so I
Jersey shit. I don't know nothing
we
about that, but go ahead.
we got into it, and it happened one night, and then she disappeared. I never heard from her again. So then,
So it's safe
uh,
to say that you had a one night stand unprotected.
I did.
He went
Okay,
I
go
w-
ahead.
Kojak. He went Kojak.
Go ahead.
so then popped up 3 years later while I'm living in Edgewater. Remember when I was living in Edgewater, shot, and I
Yep.
got the notice in the mail. Hey, you have a kid. Ajane Lee versus Andre Thomas with Giovanna Lee. I'm like, what the hell is this? And the girl that I was dating at the time was like, yeah, hell, what the hell is this? I'm like, I don't know. So I went to the courts. I saw her sitting there. I was like, yo, what's going on? So my thing, here's what happened. Here's what happened. It happened between me and her. And then whoever she was with, dealing with, they got into it. Oh, that's not my kid. You need to find out who the father is, blah, blah, blah. Hence, here I am. So with the
Wait, so
funny,
what I'm hearing you say is you had a one night stand, but she had a man.
no, she
No,
didn't have a man at the time. What
he had a
happened
man
was it
after.
happened. She had the baby after and got with somebody, and they thought it was that. They thought it was theirs together.
How? You said she had the baby and then got with somebody
No,
else.
no, she got with me and then got with the dude
Uh,
after me. So then,
Like
they thought it
immediately
was
after.
right. They
oh.
thought it was theirs. But as you could tell, my oldest daughter, she looks exactly like me. There was no
That
denying
don't
it.
matter.
So it went. I
Don't
Yeah.
know.
matter.
No, I went to.
Don't matter.
No, of course I
That
went
don't
to
matter.
court. I went to
Yeah,
court,
no, yeah,
and
but
I went to court and
I got a
everything.
horror
Took
story
the
about
DNA
that too.
test.
I
I went
agree.
to took the DNA test, and of course it came back 99.9. But when I
Well,
met
who was
her,
the 1%? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I was like, there
Another
was nothing I
PCF
could
nigga.
say. When I met her, when I met my daughter for the first time, I was like, she's a spitting image of me. I can't even deny her if I wanted to. So through the years, we went through our trials and tribulations with it and about it. And for me, I always wanted custody of my daughter because when I was given child support, and I'll tell you the truth, it wasn't going to my child. Because when I used to get my child, when Ajane was younger, I would go above and beyond because she would be looking a certain way and be presented to me a certain way. Meanwhile, my baby mother at the time was looking fresh to death and all this stuff. And I'm like, where's this child support money going when my daughter looks crazy and you looking like, you ready for the club? And that was always our debate. And then even to the point where it got to the end of it, where the child support ended, she wanted to extend it, but at that time, my daughter already had her first kid. I was like, no, there's no extension. She's not going to school. Why am I extending this out further? And it wasn't towards my daughter, it was towards her because
Yo,
I
let me
still
tell you
took
something
care of
though.
my
So
daughter.
hold on, wait.
Let me
So
tell you
what
something.
was
Let me
the
tell you something. No,
conversation?
hold on. I need to address something. That is the oldest trick that them females play. They will dress their kids up when they with them, and then they send you looking like a bum. What you do is you buy the stuff and you keep it with you, and you
I
send them
did.
back in the same shit they can't
I
even
did.
mess with. That's
I
the
did that.
oldest trick in the book. Yeah, that's what you got to do.
But wait, I don't. I mean, I don't really agree totally, right? Because some parents feel like kids grow up and they messy and they just be messy, right? And then they just don't feel like it's worth paying a lot of money for their kids' stuff because they're messy. How many times I send my kids to school with brand new tights on, they come home with holes all the way down their leg and their clothes look crazy. I'm just saying, I don't know the circumstances, but I would be inclined to say, what was that conversation like? Right?
But it was like,
Hold on, wait, let me land.
yeah,
Because as a single mother, right? My kids will always go to school fresh. They always went to school with just nice. I didn't have my kids didn't have to have the designer stuff, but my kids always had clothes and they went to school nice, right? However, how they came home, what them uniforms look like if they had uniforms, never looked the way they left the house, and that was every day of the week,
but
right?
it
It
was
depends on
always,
the age of the children, right? Now, I do agree with y'all. Some mothers will send their kids with whatever. Let your father buy your stuff. Some mothers, and some mothers is like, nah, I'm not gonna let my kid go nowhere, and I'm not gonna let him think that my kid is not up to par or looking a certain way. So the next question I have is that I keep hearing, right? The mother look fresh and the kid don't look fresh, right? With the child support going to, right? Um, but I don't hear a conversation about what the responsibilities that she has. What is she paying? Where is she living? You know, does she have a roof over her head? Does she eat every day? Does the mother pay for school? I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that how much are you paying?
Let me tell you something. All right,
Hold on, let me land.
we'll
I'm
bring
not
some.
finished.
No,
I'm
no,
not
we're gonna bring
finished.
some. We're gonna bring
I'm
some.
not finished. Nope, let me land. One mic. It takes a
Keep
lot
dragging it.
of hold on. It takes a lot of money to take care of a kid or two kids or three, right? So when I hear, oh, my child support is going to such and such and such, I really would like to know how much are you paying, right? Because at the end of the day, right? Taking care of a child is a daily responsibility every day, right? Child has to eat
hmm
every day. Child goes to school every day. Child needs things every day. So when you say, not you personally, but when someone says, where's my child support going? And let's just say you only pay $50 a week. What is that? Because that
okay,
ain't,
you ready?
hold on, let me land. That's not covering
Oh,
half of the responsibilities that a person, I'm not going to say woman, I'm going to say a person have, because some men have custody of their children. So if you're paying $25 a week or $50 a week, that ain't even touching the surface. That might get their snacks in school, right? So when I hear that, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that doesn't take place. I've seen women have Gucci, Fendi, Fresh, and their kids' sneakers got holes in them. I've seen that. So I understand that concept. But what I'm saying is that sometimes, right, I would just be inclined to know, what does that conversation look like? What are we talking about? Right? I didn't do child support, so I can't relate to that, right? Because I take care of mine hands down. That's it. So I don't feel, but I do believe that there are some people, and also, right, when you talk about child support and you talk about women or even men who get public assistance, then they get taken to child support by the state, right? And if they don't catch you early, they're gonna catch you later, right?
hmm
So now you pay, not only are you paying the child support, you paying the state, right? So that's another layer to it, right? So, I mean, you know, I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I think that sometimes there got to be a real conversation. Like, what did that look like? What you gonna say, Sha?
I'm gonna let Dre answer first. I think he wanted to say something, and then I'll follow
Just
up
real
after he
quick, shot.
talks.
Just real quick, shot and La. I'll
No,
tell
take
you,
your time.
shot. I'll tell you, La. I was paying $800 a month in child support. $800 a month.
See, I already know that. That's why I said let you go first. I'll go after you, but go
I was
ahead.
paying $800 a month, and at that point, I was still. Shaw knows I was working 2 and 3 jobs. I was leaving PCF, going to Hoop Zone, going to the mall, coming back to Hoop Zone. Shaw, am I lying? No car,
How many hours were you
nothing.
working at PCF? For context, how many hours were you working at PCF?
I was working
Let's no, none of
overtime
us
when I
worked
could.
40. So go ahead. You
I
was
was
working
working.
60 hours at PCF.
Yeah, absolutely.
You and Byrne definitely in that department.
Yeah, we was working up a lot,
Yeah.
just to cover that.
Okay.
So it was like, but then, like I said, even so, with me, I knew where my money wasn't going. I
I
knew where
mean,
my money wasn't
I would
going.
say $800 back then was a lot of money, and I think it's
Back
probably
then, you know
more
what
of
year it was?
an
You know what
issue.
year it
Is hold
was?
on, I'm sure it was probably more of an issue because you not only did you have to pay child support, you had to miss 3 years of your daughter's life.
That part.
So I
That
mean
part.
that those are layers that you know sometimes when you have to be forced to do something like that because I'm sure that if you was there when she gave birth and knew that she had the kid, we wouldn't have to you probably wouldn't have to have gone to child support. But I don't know. I'm not psychic.
And
But
even when I
No.
found out I had the child, I told her, I said, listen, we can keep it out the courts. I'll give you more money outside of the courts. And you know what her reply was?
more than
No,
$800 and your kid was looking crazy.
no,
She didn't
but
believe.
that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have had my daughter looking crazy because I would have her with me more. But then the fact of the matter is, I had to work 17 jobs just to make it at that point.
And here's the thing. To follow up what he was saying, like I said, I was gonna follow up. So I paid $1,000 a month. So here's the thing, though. Every time somebody goes to child support, they act like the female is destitute and she needs all this money for the kid. You need somewhere to live as a female anyway. Now, do you need an extra bedroom? Yes, an extra bedroom between the 1 and the 2 bedroom is a difference of $200, maybe $300. Females want men to pay child support and have their kid half the time. If I'm having my kid half the time, there is no child support because I need a bedroom for them too. I got to
Hmm.
feed them too. I got to make sure they get to school too. I got to send it with lunch too. Why am I paying you when I have the kid half the time? That's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Second, my
And that's
job as a
because,
father
hold
is
on, that's
hold
because,
on, no, let
hold
me
on,
land because you
wait.
talk about this. Let me
I'm gonna
land. Hold
tell
on.
you why.
No,
I'm gonna
no,
tell
no.
you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go because I know how you get. Go ahead. I don't want
I'm
to.
gonna tell
Go ahead.
you why.
You rubbing the forehead and
Because,
stuff. Go ahead.
because when you go to court for child support, right? Child support custody, right? If you go to court and you have joint custody, then that conversation looks different than child support.
You
But
still pay
lie,
Not
here's
as
in
another
much
Jersey.
part.
though.
You still
But see,
pay.
Here,
I'm not really familiar with that because I know when I went to
That's why.
court,
That's why.
the one time that
That's
I
why
went
we.
to court, they wanted my income and they wanted his income, and that's how they
But
made a
that's why we.
determination.
But that's how
here's
we
another
talking. And
thing.
this and that point is exactly what I'm getting at. Females need to
Hmm.
stop acting like they don't have an obligation to take care of that kid too, and financially they need to be responsible too. That is the problem. And it's not like, oh, I just sit back, get child support, and let him take care of 2 families. No, that's not how child support should work. And they need
Hmm.
to change child support so that every dollar, whether it's state regulated or not, needs to know that is going to the kid, whether it's preschool,
Yes.
and once preschool is over, like I put my daughter in Montessori school while paying $1,000 a month in Montessori school. That joint was $1,600 a month. So $2,600 a month I'm paying for 2 kids. Once that
And the,
stops, they need to reduce it again because there's no reason. I'm not paying for school once they go into public school, and they're getting free lunch. So what's going on? Like a woman has a responsibility
All kids don't
financially
eat
too
free
to
lunch.
take.
God.
and then another thing,
A
Shy.
woman has financial responsibility to take care of that kid too, and
I
they're using it
agree.
as a tool to get over. And then not only are you getting child support, some females, not all, some females getting housing and all kind of stuff. So they're
Mm-hmm.
getting discounts, paying $200 a month in rent. So where is this money going? If that now, here's a
That's
true
what I
story
said.
too, and I think Dre knows about this too. I finally reconnected with my son. He want me to come see him play football. I go, mind you, I'm paying $1,000 a month. I go to the practice. I bring my daughter. Big mistake. He has on broke down Air Force Ones. All the kids got cleats on. All the kids got this, that, and the 30. She's like, Daddy, we got to take my brother to go get some stuff. I'm paying
Did he know you was
$1,000 a month.
coming?
Yeah. I had
Oh,
to. I had to
that
go
was
to.
the
I
plan.
went to Modell's. He didn't have a mouthpiece. He didn't have a mouthpiece. I had to get him cleats, the arm pads, everything, gloves, all of that. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I
And
agree with you, Sean.
if we're going back and forth 4 days, 3 days, 4 days, 3 days, and we splitting it, I shouldn't have to pay a damn thing because the
Tasha
same
Mack
responsibility
said-
you got, I got. Huh?
Let me go to Instagram.
No, because
Tasha
females
Mack
think
said,
they ain't.
what type of women you dealing with? All right, let me go back. So
It was a mistake. I shut the club up. It was a mistake, but that's not the
super
point.
villain,
We're not talking
super
about that.
villain. All right, so we have there's a couple of comments on here, right? Pretty Pink said, "Mommy's baby, daddy's maybe." Ayana said, "It don't go like that." I'm think she's talking about the whole protection thing. Super villain said, "Well, Pinky said, Lord, that's why a paternity test needs to be mandatory at the hospital." Super villain said, "I had the Uno reverse card. He took his child's mother for child support because he thought it was funny. He didn't need it. I preferred her to spend time with the child. He preferred her to spend time with the child." Hey Mika Boo, we miss you. Super villain said some women send their kids to the father looking pop on purpose. He also
Fact,
said
I said that.
you got to pay
Yeah,
rent
we said
regardless. It's called support of the child. He said, "Let me shut up.
Facts.
This ain't my fight. All mine with me." You want to come up here? Come on. You got a story to tell?
And I'm gonna tell you something else too. I'm gonna tell you something
Deacon
else too.
said, "That's why the beard's Snow White now. That's why your beard is Snow White."
It's platinum.
So, he
But
said paying $67 in rent and get $800 in child support. That's diabolical.
Let
me tell you something. Let me tell you something else too, though, and I'm not gonna justify it though, because I'm not gonna act like it's right. And I'm not gonna like it's fair. But women that do this kind of stuff destroy relationships between fathers and kids because they feel some kind of way. Now, I don't want to hear anything no females because you're not in the position. But as a man, there's gonna be animosity and you're gonna feel some kind of way. I've lost years of my son's life because I felt like as a man that's taking care of his kid every single day, that has a certain honor and respect in the streets. There's no way I should be on. I don't like the stigma of being on child support. I don't give a damn about. I was paying, but when I went to court, the judge asked her, "Why you put him on child support?" My sister had to tell me to keep the receipts. I wasn't gonna keep the receipts. She's like, "No, deposit it in the bank and keep it." I'm telling you, I don't trust her. I was like, "All right." He's told her, "What do you put him on child support for? He's giving you this money anyway," which is exactly what I told her. And I did something that I regret, but I told her, "You put me on child support, both of y'all dead to me." And I regret that decision, but that was an emotional decision because what are you doing? I'm coming to get him every other weekend. I'm giving you bread in your bank account immediately for everything that he needs, and you did it anyway. That's vindictive. Do some men need to be on child support? Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Agree.
Do some women need to make better decisions of who they lay down with and let them shoot the club up? Absolutely. We ain't gonna lose sight of that either. We're not gonna lose sight of that either. Like, we're not gonna put this all on black men.
For another day.
We are not putting all this on black men. So do some men? Yeah, I know some men, and I know some men that are popped that walk to get their kid from school and on child support and go to jail every 6 months. That's not right either. So do you want the money? Do you want the support, or do you want both? You want everything. I know a dude, and I'm not gonna say his name. He's from the hood though. He was walking to get his son from school every day. Unfortunately, hard times happen to him, and that happens to people in life. Yo, he was going to his kid every day, walking with his son, walking him home. He had to go to the county jail. I don't even know how many times. I was in between jobs. I owe $2,600. Remember, I pay $1,000 a month. I'm on my way to work in between jobs. I had left one job, took 3 weeks off, got another job. It takes 2 weeks to get paid. They suspended my license. I'm driving to work at 8 in the morning, get pulled over. not knowing what's going on. I got locked up and went to the county for child support. $2,600, $1,000 a month. Are you out of your mind? So not
Yep.
only do you take me to jail, I got to call out from work, might lose my job because I owe money from a job that I already have that they're going to take it out as soon as I get paid. On a Friday, I was supposed to go to court. They told me, nah, court's closed. I got to go to the county. Luckily, my daughter Godfather, greatest friend in the world, Rashad Mead, Queensbridge Projects, went and got the bread, came and got me. I got out that Friday. But that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
But
That is absolutely
Shop,
ridiculous. Because females ain't going to jail for not taking their kid to the doctor, not dressing them right, not doing nothing. We go to jail for not having money, which means we have even less money. That doesn't make any damn sense.
Well, I mean, let's be clear. You talk about we need to make better decisions with the men we lay down and let them shoot up the club. Then y'all need to make the better decision than the women that y'all shoot their club up. Don't get it.
We totally agree with you on that.
Now, they didn't just become who they are.
We agree with you on that.
Let me tell you something though. This goes back to what I said about accountability, and I'm not putting blame on women. What I'm saying is, men are gonna be men, and that's the reality. We can talk about all this theoretical stuff all y'all want to.
Hold on, I got some comments in here. Let's go. Go ahead.
We are raised. We're gonna go sleep with whatever. As a female, I told my sister this. I'm gonna reiterate this.
I'm talking about you, not females.
No, Dre knows my sister and how she carried herself. She wasn't allowed to do certain things. He knows. I raised my sister like this. She 11 months younger than me. Everybody know who my sister is. My daughter too. Go out there and protect yourself. I'm not putting all the onus on y'all. What I'm saying is protect yourself. We're going to hit anything. Let me tell you something. If you're not getting raped and empathy to anybody got raped, you guys control who we sleep with, not us. As fly as I think I am, I can't just go out and pick any female I want to sleep with and she's going to do it. Y'all can pick any dude y'all want to and he's going to hit. That's the reality. Forget about all this theoretical stuff. That's the reality. So y'all make the decision of who you're going to have sex with. We don't decide. You choose us and then we smack. Yeah. That's how it works.
All right, so Mama Love said, hold on. If the custodial parent is a nice nightmare, why would you leave your child alone to deal with the behavior you can't manage?
We have no choice, man. All that going to court.
Yeah, we don't have a choice.
You have a choice.
No,
that's fake.
I'm gonna tell you.
That's
Can I tell you? Can I say something?
Of course.
I'm gonna tell you this. I went to get custody of my daughter 3 times. 3 times to pull her out of the situation that she was in Patterson. Okay, 3 times.
I know about 2 of them.
The first time, they didn't show up. So the judge threw the case out. It was like, nope, next time they got to come back.
So that don't count.
The second time, they showed up. My daughter was at the time, she was 14. Said, you know what? I want to stay with my grandma and I want to stay with my mom over here in Patterson. And the judge said, I have no ruling over that.
Right,
I had no, because she wanted to stay. Right. But she wanted to stay because there was no structure over there and she was able to do what she wanted to do. And she knew if she would have came over here to live with me where I'm at, there would have been structure, there would have been organization, she would have been under rules, she would have had to follow things, and she wouldn't have been in the predicament she is in now. Then the last time that I went to get court for her, they was like, at this point, it's almost over. She was 16, she was about to be 17. And they was like, nope, she's gonna finish it out over here. And I got rejected all 3
Yeah, but you talking about you went to court at an age where the first person they're gonna ask is the child. So not the
first time.
Hold on. The first time you went, you said they dismissed it because they didn't show up. The second time you went, you said
she was 14.
You said, yeah, she was 14, but again, she was at an age where she's telling you where she want to be, right? Unless you can prove that there was something dangerously occurring, you're gonna have a hard time with that. But again, did you have a lawyer?
No, of course not.
Okay,
now let me tell you also what I said. What I said to them, I said, Your Honor, they can keep the child support. Just give me my daughter.
They're not, because custody and child support is 2 different courts. They don't do the same thing at the same time.
They do
I
custody.
could.
They do custody and
They
child
could
support
have gave
in
me
Jersey.
They
custody
do
of her
not
and
do
child
Jersey.
support.
custody and child support.
In,
In Jersey they do, not in New York.
In Jersey, if you go to child support, they ask you, "Do you want custody?" Because when
Yeah,
they
but
asked
when
my
you
son, I
talk,
said,
hold
"Yeah."
on.
I said, "Hold on." I said, "I want joint custody." They said, "What about visitation?" I said, "I don't want no visitation." And she was like, "No, he needs to have visitation." He was like, we can do the custody. We can't force visitation." I said, "I don't want no visitation." And I avoided it. I was like, "I don't want no visitation." And I bounced.
So what I'm saying
In
is that
Jersey. I'm talking about Jersey
okay,
though. I don't
all
know
right,
about
but
New York.
here's some facts about it, right? And I'm not saying that you didn't try or whatever, right? You didn't have a lawyer. That's one, right?
Oh,
And your lawyer would have been able to guide you through understanding the dynamics of what you need to get custody of your kid. That's one, right? Even if your kid said she wanted to stay, if you had an attorney, it would have been a different circumstance, right?
not
Two,
in Jersey. In Jersey, they got to be 16 and make a decision to live with their parent. That's a
lawyers,
fact.
a lawyer is a lawyer. New Jersey, Boston,
In
California.
New Jersey, they don't give the kid the right to choose the
They
custodial
Okay,
don't.
and
parent
that's fine.
until
But again,
my son.
you
I
did.
know that because my son turned 16 this month, and the reason why I don't see him is because he said he wanted to live with me, and she blocked everybody in my family. In Jersey, you got to be sick. A kid at 16 can say, "I want to live with my father," and the court can say, "Bet." He got to
But
go.
that's
But
my
at
point. What I'm
14, they
saying
can't.
to you is that when you go to court for custody of your kid, you should have a lawyer. That's it. You don't know the law, so they only gonna hear what's being said. Let me go to
Everybody,
Instagram again.
but let me be honest.
Um,
Let me be honest though. Let me be
Super
honest.
Villain
Let me
said,
address
hold
that.
on. Super Villain said
Let
he
me
got
address that.
custody
No,
of
hold
his
on.
daughter.
Let me address that real quick because the comments will be there. Everybody says you should get a lawyer, but you got to understand when Dre's working 3 jobs to pay $800 a month. You know how much these lawyers cost? This is
Yeah.
all a racket. This is all a racket to get more money out of black men so they're destitute and have to do things they shouldn't do
Not just
to
black
pay
men.
bills.
Court system is
Run
the
the
court.
stat. You talk about the stats. If you run the stats of black marriages versus white and single parents, the stats are phenomenal, and we're way less of the population. You don't even have to do that. You can run a thing against your friends. How many single mothers do you know as opposed to married women with kids? Personally,
A
that's
lot.
what I thought.
A
So
lot.
it's a
I know.
fact.
I know both. I
These
know
are
both.
facts. Yeah, lawyers cost wild bread.
Yeah, not if you go to the
Wild
law
bread.
school and they graduate and then they trying to get their bag.
That means they don't know nobody and don't have no connections. I know how these courthouses work.
Yeah, but
I've been in the course since I was 19. I know how it works. It don't
all
work
right.
like that. It's easy
So
to say he should get a lawyer, but it's just the system is messed up. They need to, just like food stamp cards where you can't buy hot food, you can only buy this food. There needs to be a child support card where if that shit ain't a size 3, because my kid wears size 3, you can't buy it. You ain't no getting no size 13 Gucci sneakers, nigga. Go get groceries and food
yo,
and size 3 shoes for my kid.
Super Villain said,
Yeah,
I got
that's it.
custody of my
Regulate
daughter on
that.
the first attempt. First attempt. Tasha Mack said, get a lawyer and fight. Deacon said, black men is not a respected part of the black household. It dates
Facts.
back to the origin
Facts.
of welfare. Welfare was made for white people. So what you talking about? Next. But I know what you're talking about. Claudine. Anyway.
No, it was made for white people so they can get back on their feet. Now it's a detriment to us. That's how they figured it out.
He said child support of what?
Welfare.
No, I don't understand that. No, it was made for white people, yes. And then when the African American people went to get child support, they couldn't have a man in the house. They had to hide appliances. It was a lot. It was a lot. But again, nowadays it's extremely abused and it's generational. But back to the child support, right? So if you was able to change the system, right, and how child support is obtained and distributed, what would you do?
You asking me?
Anybody can answer that
I would
question.
start with I don't know if Jay wants to talk. You want to say something, Dre, or not? I can
No,
go.
you got this. You got this one.
I would say first of all, just like a food stamp card where you're going to buy certain things, I would have a card that only has those certain things on it, and I would also force them to save a certain amount of money for certain things, and I would also count it against Medicaid, which single mothers get. I would count against housing, which single mothers get when they're looking at the economy, and I would force women, just like they force men who don't pay child support to get a job so they can pay it, to get a job so they can take care of their kid too. Because if a man can't pay child support, they force him to get a job to make sure he's on child support. But a mother can go 21 years without a job, and they ain't forcing her to get a job, and they should lock her up. And if she can't do it, they should give the custody to the man and see how that work out. Those are some changes I would make. So you got a child support card, you can only buy things in your kid sizes.
I don't agree with that.
You can have a certain amount to pay for schools until they're 5 and go to public school. If they go to Catholic school, you take a certain amount for that, blah, 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 and regulate everything like they do. And I would demand that the woman make a certain amount of money as well. And if she's not, then we'll leave with the father, and whatever little bit she makes, let her make. And then what we'll find is a lot of destitute women that can't make it out here in this world.
So what I'm hearing you say is that if a man is making more money than a woman and she is unable to financially provide for that child, then that child should be given to the father.
But that would never happen.
I'm asking if that's what he's saying. I'm asking, is that what you're saying?
I'm answering. Or she should be forced to provide, just like a man on child support. If you can't pay your child support, if you can't pay your child support, you go to Bergen County Jail, which I have been to. And when you get out, you have to get a job and find a way to pay that child support. And the reason why so she should be under the same standard. If you can't make enough money, first of all, if you're broke, you shouldn't be having no kids anyway. But if you can't make enough money, then that kid needs to go somewhere where they can be financially secure and taken care of. You shouldn't get free housing, food stamps, Medicaid, and then depend on a man to pay for everything. Because at that point, what is he paying for? Your lifestyle as well?
Hold on.
I have somewhere to live too. I need to live too. I have to pay rent. I need groceries. And what made my thing disgusting is I had a kid that I'm taking care of by myself at the same time. That's what really made me vicious in this whole situation. Because my baby mother knows my daughter. That's what made it vicious for me. Like, I got a kid to take care of by myself. You crying about what you got to do? Step up and get money. You talking about I need to get more money. Like, get where's your money at?
Right.
So
what were you thinking when you didn't pay the little $200 to $300 to get an abortion or a free one, and you thought you could take care of a kid and you borrowing money to get a pack of cigarettes? What are you thinking about?
What kind of women you dealing with? Let's talk about that. In general, let me say this.
I'm not talking about my son is very well taken care of. I will not take that away from her. But $1,000 a month is ridiculous because he doesn't need $1,000 a month as a kid to survive. That's crazy. And let's take it to the next level, Shy.
Nah, you're gonna have to wait because I got something to say.
Well, I'm gonna be quick.
I don't personally agree that you get to dictate what I spend, the money that you send, because again,
that's crazy.
Hold on. I'm a single mother with 2, right? I took care of my kids, right? And the way the daily circumstances take place, by the time I get child support, if I was getting it, I done already did everything I was supposed to do. The bills is due at the beginning of the month. The food needs to be bought or either on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. The shoes, who knows when the shoes is going to get too small, because as they grow, their feet grow on a weekly basis for the most part, right? So you can't tell me what I must do with whatever child support that's coming to me when I'm already paying all the bills. So I don't agree with that. Now,
what bills?
What do you mean? I'm paying the rent. I'm paying the car. I'm paying the car note. I'm paying my bills. I'm making sure my kid has food on the table. I'm making sure they have electricity, a bed, a bedroom set. They got sneakers, clothes. Their hair needs to be done. They go to dance school. They go wherever they want to go. They go out for you. So my kids go out. So you can't tell me.
But I'm just saying.
Hold on. Let me land.
Bills you got to pay anyway, though.
You're right. But again, hold on. I'm waiting for your money. I'm waiting for the money, whatever you giving me. $800 don't break no bank if I got to pay all these bills myself. If my rent is $1,800 that I got to pay for me and my kids, and I got to pay electricity and gas, and I got to buy them food, and I got to buy them clothes. And let's be clear, the older they get, the bigger they feet on, the more they shoes cost. There's no way in hell you're going to tell me that I got to wait for whatever little bit of money that you giving me. And I'm not downplaying the amount. I'm just saying, I'm talking about my own experience. You can't tell me that when I get your little $200, hold on, when I get your little $200 a month or a week or $200 a week or whatever, I gotta wait till I get your $200 to buy them what they need. Absolutely not. They've already gotten everything.
How much is birth control?
So if I choose to take that $200 and put it in my account, I'm gonna do that. Why? Because I done took care of everything they needed already. I'm not waiting for your money to do anything for my kids. It's already done.
So let me ask you a question.
I'm not talking about you. No, most baby mothers, I'm not talking about you. Most baby mothers put that 20 in the account to get their box waxed and go have another baby by another nigga to give them a check. That's not right.
I don't know nothing about that.
Let me ask you a question. Is it fair that, okay, if I'm paying the $800 a month or Shaw's paying the $1,000 a month, when the child pulls up to us, we got to pay the $800 on top of getting them more stuff outside of that $800? I'm just asking, is that fair?
Hold on.
She thinks so. Gold digger.
If we talking about me and my kids, hold on. If we talking about me and my
kids, don't make it personal.
I'm gonna make it personal because you want me to answer this question, right? If we talk about my kids, it's not enough because I pay more than $800 a month for my kids when they was younger. So no, it's not enough. So if we want to be equal, if you're talking about doing equal responsibility, then let's split the bills down the line and let's see.
We're not together.
Hold on, let me land. Hold on, let me land.
No, we're not together. I'm not splitting nothing with you. Is it
fair that if you pay $800 a month, that you should be paying additional things? And I'm telling you, if you ask me the bills for my kids, the children's bills in my house is more than $800. So if you're asking me if it's fair, it's very much fair if I need something else or you need to be asked to do something else. Because if I got to pay for school and camp and dance school and dance shoes and costumes and all the other stuff, there's absolutely no way you telling me that just because you pay $100 a month, you ain't got to do nothing else. No. I got to do everything else.
First of all, you're lying. No, you're not lying. You're not lying, but you be buying a Versace lotion. You need to
I do not. That's a lie.
That's the problem. No,
I don't buy.
That's
not true.
Know you. Don't act
that's
like
not
I don't know
true.
you. Don't
wait a minute.
You over there buying Versace lotion and all that? No.
I'm trying to understand why none of my girls have been.
6-year-old need Gucci lotion.
I don't buy Versace anything.
Yeah, whatever.
But go ahead.
Stop living. Y'all need to stop. We have to take care of ourselves too. Y'all just want black men to
give
y'all all the money. This is the topic for next week. Why do y'all think y'all entitled for men to just take care of y'all? That's crazy.
Listen,
we're not here
that's
to just
another topic for another day. And hold on.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Stop buying them kids Versace soap and lotion.
I don't buy Versace soap. But here's the issue. Here's my concern, right? This is what I'm saying.
Lotion,
right?
You buy the lotion.
Because to think that because you pay child support, right, that you shouldn't have to do nothing else.
I'm not saying that. Hold on.
Let me land. Depends on the household. Depends on the household. So if you gotta, let me say this correctly. If you got somebody who would prefer to live in a less fortunate neighborhood, right? And their monthly expenses is about $300, that's something different, right? Now, if you come on the side with Lala, then $800.
You from Left Rack, yo.
I'm just saying.
You gotta stop this. You from Left Rack.
Where's Tasha Mack at? Because I know she understand what I'm saying.
From Left Rack. She's from Bergen County. Don't bring it up here. You from Left Rack. You gotta stop acting like that. You got a couple dollars, and now all of a sudden you live in these extravagant neighborhoods. Knock it off.
I'm not saying. What do you mean? I grew up in Left Rack. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying that
you know what we talking about, yo. Don't do that. You grew
but you asked me the question. You asked me the question. I'm saying I set the bar for myself. Hold on. If I set the bar for myself, not everyone is like that.
Here's another question, though, and you know this too, because we got to bring a sense of reality to this show. You know, mad females that live in the hood, live in the projects, live wherever they live, and shout out to them. I'm not dissing that anyway. That are abusing the system. Period. You know
Oh,
this,
I don't know
and you
nobody
know they
abusing.
out there trying
I
to
don't
keep
hang
up
out
with
with
the,
people like that.
and they out there. I didn't say you hang out with them. I said you know them, and they trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you know these situations are real. So let's talk about the reality of the situation and how they abuse. That's all we're saying. Stop
Mm-hmm.
abusing child support and take your kid. There, I have
That's
never in my life, you ask anybody in the hood, never came out and looked fresher than my daughter. Never
Okay.
in 21 years have I hit the hood and she looked outside of her hair, because I didn't know how to do hair. Outside of the hair, and even what's her name told you? I used to pull up like, yo, do my daughter hair real quick for me.
yeah, you did.
I have
You did,
never.
Sean.
I ran down every film I know. Yo, do my daughter hair in the backseat of my truck. Do my daughter hair for me, please. I've never stepped out and looked better than my daughter. Not a day in my life.
And
I've
that's
never had
good.
fresh niggas on her. Females need to do the same thing. You out here living with the Joneses.
I agree. I don't dispute that. I agree. I don't
And-
I hate to see people looking fresh to death and their kids look crazy. That's a problem.
And
Never.
before,
Unless they coming from school now. Unless they coming from a long
that's
day in
different.
school.
no, before I got with Karen and before Ajane met Karen or whatever, I used to take Ajane, like when I had her on the weekends, I would beg one of my friends to do her hair. I'm like, yo, I can't have. I don't know what to do with a braid. I don't know how to braid. Like, what's up? What we doing?
Right.
What are we doing?
But the
I know
point
the
is,
feeling, Shy.
my daughter always been fresh, and I've sacrificed for that. As a man paying child support, you don't want to see your baby mother out here popping and and then your daughter ain't got her hair done, her nails done, or your son don't got the proper sports equipment or basketball sneakers. That's what we're addressing.
Right.
So you
And if
think
you're not ready to make that sacrifice, you're not a real parent.
listen, I got my
I
nails
never
done
ate
all the
before
time.
my
I
daughter
ain't take my
ate.
kids to
I
get their
never-
nails done.
I never.
My
I
kids
never
ain't
ate
get
a
their
full
nails done, but I
one.
did.
You hear the shot, but I did.
I'm saying if they
Why
of
my
age.
kids
I'm not
didn't get
talking
their
about the
nails done?
3-year-old. I'm not talking about a 3-year-old. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying. Like, there's no way I'm out there. And if you get your nails done and your kids need something, regardless if it's the nails,
But
you
I
shouldn't
did.
get your nails done.
But I did.
My kids didn't want for
I'm
nothing,
just saying.
and then that's
It's
I didn't work like
sacrifice.
that. But I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying. I do understand that it's important for women and men, because again, some men have custody of their children. When it comes to getting financial support from the other parent, right?
Mhm.
It's important to make sure that all the needs are met by your children. Period. If the kids, but again, right, hold on. But again, you also do have women, right, who do it on purpose so that daddy can buy more stuff. I never did that, but
Here's an experiment. Here's an experiment for every female that thinks child support is fair. Tell them to take $1,000 out their check every month and keep it pushing. And see can they do it. Or 800 to Dre's point. Tell them to take 800 out their check and put it in the account and see if they can keep it pushing and see what they got to do.
Some of them will be sick.
And tell them if they miss 2 months, they're going to the county. So they losing their jobs. And then they got to come back.
$1,000 a month, if you get paid twice a month, is $500 a check.
Yeah.
That's a bill.
All right, so tell them to do it.
I don't know nobody do that. We don't have those issues over here on this side.
I mean, they can't do it. They can't do it. I'm gonna tell you something else. I'm gonna tell you something else too. I'm gonna tell you something else to about child support. If you decide to move Leroy in your crib, he needs to be responsible for them kids too. Fuck that. That should adjust your child support.
Oh no, they do that in New York. If you go to child support and you say,
I only know Jersey. I don't know New York.
If in New York, if you go for child support, if you in court for child support and he says or she says, I live with my man or I live with my girl, they're gonna say, bring their income too. And when they come back to court, they're gonna say, I no longer live there. Because she or he gonna be like, absolutely not.
Right. Agreed.
It just needs to be better regulated, and the punishment doesn't need to be now you lose your job and you sit in jail where you can't get no money.
Or you get suspended, license suspended.
And I think a female shouldn't get more than one child support check. If you got one child support check, you shouldn't be allowed to have no more kids until you can financially take care of your one kid you got. You got kids getting 3 child support checks from niggas. This shit is a fucking hobby and a job. This shit is an extra income. No, you want to get a child support check? You got him? Cool. You get no more child support checks. And if you have another baby, then it's divided.
Agree. Mama Love said, as an adult,
you're not just about to
you
have,
have to take.
have
Hold
6
on.
kids getting child support checks. That's crazy.
Listen, first of all, you messed with her and she already had 5 and you shot the club up. So what's your responsibility for that? As an adult, you have to take responsibility.
I thought she had good box. She got 5 kids. Somebody loved her.
For deciding to have unprotected sex. Hold on. Even when using protection, you run the risk of pregnancy, tying yourself to the other person. Know the one you with. I agree. I totally agree.
That's a woman that said that. See,
absolutely.
The reason why women and men aren't equal is because we're not the same. And y'all always try to make us equal. Men are savages. We out here attacking box. I go back to the point of women choose who they sleep with. If a woman runs, if me and you get into a contest and you be like, I'm gonna cheat on you, and I be like, I'm gonna cheat on you too, it's gonna be way harder for me to cheat on you because I have to get approval from a female. You can go out there and offer that box up, that left rack box, and somebody's gonna hit that. I have to beg and take out to dinner. I got to do all kind of stuff to get it. Y'all are in control of that box in your body, in your baby.
That's a fact.
Take better control. Manage your box better.
But that's not true. I mean, no. Hold on. Wait, hold on. The ratio of men and women is higher for men. So no, you can go outside and rock out, and just like a woman can.
What?
Only on approval. You need approval. You can go out and you can get a dusty nigga or a fly nigga. He gonna hit that box. He's gonna hit that box. I can't tell a chick, listen, I just want to have sex with you. Come home with me. She can be like, nigga, if you don't get out my face, you go to a nigga like, yo, look, if you go up to a nigga and you be like, yo, I find you attractive. Let's go pop. He's gonna pop. Like, let's not confuse it and throw the bullshit in there.
But men do that too, though.
First of all, do you feel like let's say some clarity? Do you feel like you can go out anywhere in America and say, yo, I want to fuck with you. Come give me some dick and niggas gonna fuck you? Yes or no? Don't land no planes. Yes or no? End of discussion. Dre, you heard that? Now look, I'm gonna put it on myself. Do I?
Wait. No, I would never do nothing like that.
No, we not. Hold on.
I gotta break it down.
Do you think I could go to the corner store right now and be like, "Hey, come in my house with me"?
Let me finish.
Yes. Like, okay.
Yes.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Yeah, absolutely. Come to my corner store. Nah, I'm just playing. Yo, listen. I'm gonna bring it like as fly as I think I am. I can't go anywhere in America and be like, yo, shorty, come in. Let me hit. That's not gonna work.
You can't say let me hit. You can say I'll take you to dinner. You might be able to hit after dinner, but
yeah,
but
10
out of 10 times you run down on anybody. If you run down an NBA player getting a $300 million and be like, yo,
ain't they type.
I'm just saying, if I want you to crack, he's gonna crack. Like you want it, y'all gonna stop bringing this hypothetical. That's reality situation. So
first of all, I'm not an NBA player's thought. Me, now I'm not. I don't have that.
Hold on. I wasn't done.
You don't know that.
Let me land. You know the point I'm making. Stop throwing shit in the game. I already made my point, and you already know it, and you believe it yourself. Hold on, Dre. I'm gonna let you hold on 1 second. Do you not think you every man's dream? Yes or no?
No, I don't think that. I don't think
you're a liar. I don't. You can go anywhere in America and you feel like I'm that baddest B word.
I'm only my husband's dream.
I'm talking about before you got married, nigga. We're not talking about now. We're not talking about now. We talking about La for the morning show. You thought you could get whatever. You the best thing ever. Blah blah. You know what I'm saying?
What's wrong with me? Okay, I mean, you know.
But that's my point, though. So stop making us accountable for these kids. Y'all choose.
For the kids? What do you mean? I can't have a baby unless somebody shoot up the club. What are you talking about?
No, we can't shoot up the club unless we allowed past the yellow tape that says "come in the club" and shoot it up.
Okay, so what does that mean? So why would you not be responsible for you shoot? You have the babies in you. I'm the only one. I carry the baby. So if you're able to shoot up the club, hold on. Let me land. Just
No, because
because your theory is,
drag it. This is
hold
what
on,
you do.
just because your theory is that a woman can walk outside on the corner and say, "Hey, what's up? Let's get it popping," and men are going
It's
to
not a
be
theory.
open. Hold on, what?
It's not a theory.
And men are
That's
going to
just
be
based on-
open to it. Doesn't mean that it's still okay to shoot the club up. Just because you have access and you're given the opportunity to be sexual and have sex with somebody or intimate with somebody doesn't mean that you should be shooting the club up and making a baby. That's
But-
having a baby or
but-
making a baby. Hold
but-
on, ain't no but. Let me land. Having a baby.
You're gonna drag
is
it,
two-
Dre.
Hold on, two people. Both of y'all are equally responsible when you make a baby. What are you talking about?
Okay, but
Hold on,
No.
just because I have access, just because I have access, or I can go out and get a dude tomorrow and say, "What's up? Let's have sex," and we have unprotected sex because we both made a decision to have unprotected sex, doesn't mean that it's okay for you to say it's my fault that we having a baby.
That's what I disagree with.
That's what you just
That's what I
said.
disagree with. That's what I disagree with. I think that the person that allows the sex to happen, which is the female, is in control of whether it's protected or unprotected. A
Oh,
female
my.
needs to say, listen, I said I'm going to say some, listen, they're not going to agree with me. But I'm just saying, you have the decision to make, okay, I'm going to allow him to have sex with me. That's your decision, not his. He can't decide. I have never decided I'm going to have sex with this female and it worked out that way. Well, a couple times. But in the most part, like, that's not going to happen.
Tell you
That's your
something.
decision. So everything after you make that decision to let him have sex with you is on you. That's just
Come on,
my feeling. I
I've
said
seen
this.
dudes.
Let me finish. Let me land. I see you waving your little green wand. So that's why I'm saying, and it's not fair, but it's the reality. Fair and reality are two different things. The reality is your body, and you decide who goes in there and shoots your club up. Stop letting nondescript VIP niggas in your club, and even when they
now-
come in your club, put a wristband on them, nigga, and let them
Hold
know,
on.
hey,
Listen,
Sha,
there
listen,
are people. Hold on, there are men.
hold on,
first of
no,
all,
no. Let me say something.
You've been
Let me say
talking too
something.
much. Let Dre talk. Let
Let
Dre
me
talk
say
because you
something.
need to hear something.
Lala, all
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying is, just like you said, yeah, every females can give away their box to anybody. Yes, you're right. That is a known fact. But like you said, accidents happen. Even if we strap up or have protected sex, accidents happen. So
Those
then
don't
what
count.
happens when an accident?
you said those don't
No,
count.
those
Are you
don't
serious? Yo,
No, for the
where
purpose
is
of this
Tamika?
conversation.
Oh
For
my
the
God.
purpose,
Okay,
For the purpose
of
of
conversation,
this
yes.
conversation, we're not discussing that part because things happen. People
Okay.
get raped and all kind of things happen. For the purpose of this conversation, yes, that's a different conversation. For the
Mhm.
purpose of this conversation, we're talking about two consensual people. Boom. But it takes one consent for the other one to be consensual. I'm not smacking nothing if a female says, yeah, go ahead. We ain't out here taking box. Y'all giving it away.
That doesn't mean just because somebody agrees, we have a mutual agreement that be intimate together, doesn't mean that it's my fault if I get pregnant. That sounds
This ain't about
crazy.
fault. This ain't
It's
about
not
fault.
my fault.
You
But
just said you
the
blame
fault-
women.
No, lie. If
I
you
didn't say I
lay
blame
down
when I
with the
say fault,
dude,
I mean it's your responsibility to protect yourself once you
right.
open that door. So
Okay,
if you
but
open
you
that door
also
and
know
say,
that
"Yo,
people
we're
protect
gonna have,"
themselves
hold
and
on.
then
If
a man will take it off.
if you could say that we're not talking
If
about
he-
that either. Like I said, the anomalies are out of the discussion. If that happens, that's on him. I'm talking about you have unprotected sex. You decide I'm gonna let this nigga get some box. This has all happened. So we're not gonna act like we all just like some Catholic school girls. This all happened. Yeah, you can get some. Boom. He don't got no Jimmy rap. You like fuck it. Go ahead. Boom. Everybody been through it. I know I have. So,
Lala,
but I'm
can I
saying
ask you a question,
it's your
Lala?
responsibility to be
Yo.
like, nigga,
Super villain.
Lala, can I ask you a question, please?
I'm going to
So
Kochaks.
what if this scenario happens, Lala? You and the dude have unprotected sex, but after this session is over and you find out, yo, I'm knocked up, whatever. But if he tells you, yo, I don't think you should have it. I don't think I'm ready. We're not ready or like that, whatever. But you proceed to have it. Now, should you go through and put him on child support, even though
I have
he
a
said,
question.
yo, I don't
I
want
would
to have
question.
hold
I have a
on.
question. I have a question. No, hold on. I have a
Go ahead.
question. Dre, just elaborate on how did it start off? Did it start off as consensual, nobody said nothing about protection, or it was protection and it broke and then it happened? Which, like, what scenario?
Consensual.
But did y'all talk about protection and something went wrong?
Yeah. You
Oh,
can
if
say
something
that.
went wrong. Oh yeah, that's different.
How do
Okay.
you talk about protection and something go wrong? Either you have unprotected sex or you
I mean,
protect
it might break. I know 2 females that got pregnant on birth control. They was on birth control,
Once again,
got pregnant.
life and accidents
First of all, right?
I know 2 females like that.
When I had my first kid, we neither one of us wanted to have a kid together. Okay, I didn't take him to
Y'all
court for
wanted to
child
do a
support.
doggy style.
Hold on, I didn't take him to court for child support, but I did take him to court so he could put his name on her birth certificate, which ultimately turned into child support, which ultimately we never went back. So he wasn't on child support. So yes, I made a decision to have my kid and was not worried about the father.
So
we're not talking about you. We're talking about the world.
He asked me a question. He gave me a scenario.
no, I gave it to her.
That was a different scenario, though. Did y'all have? And maybe I misunderstood what he's saying. Me and you say, hey, we're gonna have sex. You like, all right, you gotta strap up. I strap up, something goes wrong.
No, that's not
comes
what
off.
happened. We was together for a couple of years, so no.
I understand that. I'm not talking about that situation no more. We move past that. I'm saying I think the situation is we agree to have it. You tell me, because this what happened with my baby mother. Oh, you on birth control? Yes. Okay, boom. Shoot the club up. She's pregnant. Was never on child support. Was never on birth control. Whoa, what are you talking about? How is that possible? That's the situation I think he's referring to. He can answer though, but that situation I think he's referring to.
But again, 2 people, 2 adults, or even two people.
No.
Hold on.
Stay on topic.
I'm staying on topic because what I'm saying is that what I don't understand and what I don't agree with is that whether it's an accident or not, it's still 2 people having sex. Whether
no,
it's
that's not. That's why I said stay on topic. Listen, no, hear me out. 2 people decided to have protected sex, regardless of which one was protected. Birth control or condom, whatever.
That's a different. That's a different. So that's a different kind of.
That's the scenario we're talking about. So stay on topic. Birth control, condom. It didn't work. You're pregnant. Now what? I think I have the right to be like, I don't want this kid, and I'm not going to speak for him, but that's what the question was.
Right, and you do have a right to say you don't want the kid, and then the woman has the right to ultimately make the decision.
And that's on you then.
He said birth control costs less than Pampers. Mama Love says, so you only teach your daughters to protect herself and just give your son the address to the child support office?
That's a fact. Unfortunately, that's a fact because you going and teach him how to dial on that lockup phone because he's going to jail if you don't pay it.
What? But that sounds crazy.
That's the fact.
Both men and women, boys and girls should equally both be taught about protecting themselves, not just women.
Think we're equal. No, men protect themselves from venereal diseases. Women need to protect themselves from having babies because that lasts a lot longer than anything else. Stop getting pregnant. You need to be on birth control. If your daughter's fast, give it a shot every month and let her go rock out.
And what if your son is fast? What are you talking about? What if your son is fast? What if your son wants to run up in every girl in his classroom? What are you teaching your son? Because she let him run up in her and she gets pregnant, it's her fault?
But that's always the double standard conversation.
I'm going to teach him to run up in the chicks that got good mothers that put their daughters on child support. That on birth control. What? That's what I'm going to teach him. What? Only hit the broads on birth control. That's all I teach.
All right.
Because he's gonna smack everything.
I'm going.
He's gonna smack.
I'm going to sleep.
This is not it. The moral of the story is this: parents, right, should teach both children, both sex children, women, man, boy, girl, right? The value of protecting yourself, right? Both parties. The value of if you have sex, the possibility, whether you're protected or not, you can get pregnant. There's a baby can be produced, right? If you don't want those responsibilities, both parties, then reconsider having sex.
That's I don't agree with that. I don't co-sign this message.
Why
I
not?
don't co-sign this message. You should teach your son to shoot and your daughter to duck. That's what you should teach. That's what you should teach. Duck them shooters, and son, shoot up the shoot, nigga, and teach your daughter to duck the shooters. That's what you teach them.
No.
Because that's reality.
For the people out there that are genuine, that have children and grandchildren, have conversations with both your grandson, your granddaughter, your daughter, your son, and let them know that when you have sexual intercourse, both parties are equally responsible if a child is produced. Everyone has a right to make a choice and make a decision on whether they want to or not. And that's a conversation that needs to be had. What we don't agree with is if someone gets pregnant and disappear and then come back later on, 4 years later, talking about this is your baby and pay all this child support back. We don't agree with that, right? We want you to be honest and upfront.
This why
right? Honest and upfront about the dynamics of it. People who have children should be equally responsible to take care of that child or children, right? No one is exempt from taking care of a child that they have together, period. That is what I'm saying. Now, what were you saying?
Nothing after that. I guess you laid the law down. I'm not being responsible for nobody. I shut the club up. You was on birth control. That's on you if you want to have it. That's not my
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yo.
But I'm gonna still do it though. That's crazy.
Yo, Tasha Mack, where you at? This is crazy. Listen, everybody, this is all love, right? Everybody's entitled to their opinion on how things deal. Most of us have opinion based on our own experience, right? Especially when it's a bad experience, you will be able to this is what we do. We unpack how you're feeling and why you made the decisions that you make and why you think the way you think. So if you had a bad experience about child support, your response would be exactly what it is. It's expected. It's expected, right? However, there are some realistic things, and the reality of it all is that all parties should be responsible if a child is made and you're willingly a participant and raw dog shoot up the club. That's a problem. Then you know that a baby can be produced. So I'm not trying to handle that. If you teach your sons to shoot up the club, birth control or not, then you should be teaching your sons what to do when a baby is produced. What does that conversation look like? What does that mean? And if you have minor sons, under 18, that means that you as a parent will be responsible for that child support. So those conversations need to look different.
I'm teaching my son to get some head.
Thank you. God bless.
So let's be clear. When we talk about teaching our children and our youth what they need to do in regards to being responsible when it comes to them making a decision to have sex and shoot up the club, right? Understand that there are consequences for everyone's behavior and what they do, whether you like it or not. And if you have a minor child and you teaching your child to shoot up the club, then you better be prepared to pay that child support for that child. Okay? All right. Now.
All right.
Yeah. And just for the record, as Tasha Mack said, child support is based off shared income.
No, it's not.
Yes,
no, it's not.
It's really not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
And also, she also said men can get Section 8.
Yo.
Tell her to list 3 niggas with Section 8.
She can't list one.
She can't name 3 dudes with Section 8.
She can't name
one. I was
one,
a single father and I get Section 8.
You didn't apply.
No, I didn't. That's not the point, though.
No, okay, so you can't say you was a single father and you didn't get Section 8 if you didn't apply.
Get it.
You could have gotten it. You could have gotten everything with your kid. Everything.
Too much money. I was making too much money.
Well, that's on you.
Yeah, well, get some more money before you had kids. I had my first kid at 30. Rest in peace, little Tracy. I was financially secure. I had money in the bank and a shoebox. That's when you need to have kids, not in your 20s and teens.
And that's what you need to teach your kids. That's what you need to the message to the people in the world that are watching this show. You need to tell them to be financially prepared to have children. Now, I don't think you can be 100%, but be financially stable in some way, a job or a place to stay or the means to pay what you need to pay to take care of your kid. That's a better way of giving the message out. What?
Birth control.
Okay.
These kids gonna fuck, yeah.
All
Hey,
right.
yo, good night.
All right. So thanks everyone
I
for
shouldn't have said that.
tuning
We want to get
in
monetized. I'm sorry, my
to
bad.
Let's. I want to thank everyone for participating and viewing the show today. It was definitely a very fruitful conversation, right? We learned that everyone has a different opinion and everyone's entitled to their own opinion when it comes to life circumstances, right? We respond according to what we've experienced. We have an opinion on how we view things. Everyone views things differently, but the bottom line is we need to teach our children, and I'm going to say our grandchildren, how to be responsible and make better choices to better their life as they
I
get
got
older.
no grandchildren, but
Absolutely.
You don't
yeah.
have
I got
grandkids
two of
yet,
them.
but you got time for grandkids. A
We
long time.
also know you get your hair done while your daughter's feet look like pork chops too. You said that shit earlier too. So
What'd you say?
nothing. Hey
What you
everybody,
just
thank
say?
you for coming. Nothing.
So again, if you have any topics that you'd like us to discuss, please make sure that you send. You can send me a DM and Let's Unpack That 27 on Instagram. Let's Unpack That 27 on Facebook. Let's Unpack That 27 on TikTok, or you can just send me an email at Let's Unpack That at gmail.com. Okay. Until next week. Next week we'll be back at 9 o'clock.
Hold on, though. If you single on birth control, you can reach me at ShamGod777
Hey,
on
yo.
Instagram. I don't want no more kids. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you for having me on, y'all. I enjoyed
Right.
the
Thanks for
conversation.
coming, yo.
Thanks for showing
Appreciate
up.
you. Stop the
You
vibe,
already
man.
know. Sha, you already know. Lala, I love you like cook food. I'll
We'll
see
see
y'all
you on the
later.
other side. Until
We out
next
here.
week, have a
Take your
great
animal
week.
babies,
Be
y'all.
blessed and be honest and understand that everyone's entitled to an opinion. And we have some we can agree and disagree, but it's all love on Let's Unpack That. Peace.
Peace.
Facts. Peace.